Well, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started since I have it being 2:02, and I want to be mindful of everyone's time. My name is Christy Thompson, and I am one of the advisors in the Teacher Preparation and Advising Office. We're very excited so many of you could join us today. I am recording this, so heads up on that. So that other students can potentially watch this later and hopefully have some of their questions answered. Hopefully we will answer yours as well. As we go through, I am going to ask that you keep yourself muted unless you are, obviously want to say something or have something to add. Ideally, if you could ask questions in the chat, and that way we can kind of keep things rolling a little bit. And I have a couple people helping me keep an eye on the chat to make sure we do get everybody's questions answered. I'm going to switch over to a different screen here for a few minutes. So what I have here is a welcome. We're excited to have you back to the College of Education. So our agenda, shortly here in a minute, we're going to turn it over to Dr. Leslie Rush for a welcome, and we'll do some introductions. We're going to go over some mandatory background checks, residency and practicums, accessing the College of Education building, because that has changed over the summer as well, and we should have plenty of time for questions. All right. Dr. Rush, if you would like to begin.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Christy. Hi, everyone. I'm happy to see you all joining us here today. My name is Leslie Rush, and I am Interim Dean of the College of Education after previously serving as Associate Dean for 7 years. I'm not sure how many of you are returning students and how many are new, but I'm going to kind of speak a little bit to both, just in my welcome to today's meeting and in my welcome to the College of Education and to a career as an educator. So I want you to know that your choice to pursue education as a major and teaching as a career means that you will have a hand in shaping the future wherever you live. There is a saying that I really like, which is that teaching is the profession that makes all other professions possible. As teachers, we do impact children, but not only children, we impact families, communities, states, nations, really the world. I am so excited for you that you are joining us or continuing with us to become a teacher. I also want you to know that you're a student in a college that will provide you with some amazing opportunities. Of course, you'll get the chance to learn both theoretical and practical skills of teaching. You will also be challenged to learn critical content that is absolutely necessary for you as a teacher, alongside learning how to plan lessons that are engaging and meaningful, how to connect and develop relationships with students and families, and perhaps most importantly, how to learn from your own mistakes. Your faculty members in the College of Education are experienced teachers who can use not only their advanced degrees and cutting-edge knowledge, but also their experience in the classroom to help you become the best teacher you can be. So what does that mean for you? It means that we will have high expectations for you. But it also means that we will provide high levels of support to help you reach those expectations. Your faculty members, your advisors, and the administrators in the college are here to both push you and mentor you. We want you as graduates of the University of Wyoming to be standout examples of high quality teachers. Of course, we're meeting today by Zoom because of the pandemic and its potential impact on you and on our communities. I'm just going to echo our UW president, Ed Seidel, who recently wrote this. I'm proud of how our university community has responded with what I believe is one of the best programs in the nation to monitor and to take interventions to limit the spread of this virus. Protect our herd, mask up, wash your hands, maintain physical distance, complete your COVID training, and report your health self-assessment in COVID Pass. I strongly urge you as well to prioritize the health of your fellow UW and Laramie community members by meeting the requirements of our UW policies with regard to wearing a mask, social distancing, washing your hands frequently, and completing other requirements. You're really probably quite tired of hearing the phrase uncertain times, but that is truly what we are in. Things are unpredictable and ever-changing for all of us right now. But I do believe that better days are ahead. Our faculty and staff have made enormous efforts over the last several months to provide you a semester that is as normal as possible. We will continue to support you in any way we can. We are facing this storm together. Remember that your kindness, courage, and optimism are also contagious. So today is an opportunity for you to collect information and to meet some people who will be your best allies in the process of pursuing your degree and your teaching license. Please do pay attention and be brave enough to ask the questions that come up for you. We all look forward to our continued work with you. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Rush. We appreciate your encouraging words. We're going to move into additional introductions. Dr. Andrea Burroughs is our new Associate Dean of Undergraduate Programs. Dr. Burroughs, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Burroughs, and I'm, like Christy just said, I'm the new Associate Dean for Undergraduate Programs. I work a lot behind the scenes, helping to make sure that our programs are accredited and that we have the absolute best programs that we possibly can on campus. If you ever have any questions about the programs or about how things are working or functioning, you're welcome to come talk to me. I'm in the Ed Office 14, or during these times, maybe an email or a Zoom meeting might be better. But no matter how you'd like to reach out, I am open and willing to discuss any of the programs and any of the questions that you have. And if I'm not the right person, then I will send you in the right direction to somebody else that can help you. But we're so excited that you're here, and we're so excited that you're going to be working through your program, either continuing or starting, either one. And thank you so much. Go Pokes.
Thank you, Dr. Burroughs. Next up, we have Dr. Alan Buss, who is our Director of the School of Teacher Education. Dr. Buss.
Good afternoon, everyone. Whoops, knocked over my ukulele. Who knows if we'll get to that today. But Todd and I might be playing Cowboy Joe for you on the ukulele if we can stand it. So, but I want to welcome everyone back. Again, an interesting beginning to the school year. My role as the Director of the School of Teacher Education is really to oversee all the faculty and the courses and the programs from early childhood all the way through secondary education. So I work the faculty, work with the programming and course development and so forth, as well as any of the student questions, concerns that come up. Petitions usually cross my desk if you have questions about anything. I'll tell you a little bit more about the updates in terms of Practicum in a bit, but that also is, falls on my shoulders as well. We've been in a lot of contact with school districts throughout the state, so we'll be giving you more information on that. But I've been here at UW since the late 90s. I started as a faculty member in 1997. I teach elementary math science methods typically. I won't be teaching that this fall. I will be teaching, excuse me, the Ed Studies 1200, a new course for freshmen so that we get out into Practicum experiences early. And so I may be working with some of you in that role. But I'm looking forward to a school year. Again, we'll have many challenges, but my personality is one that I try to look for the bright spots and look for the learning in challenging times. We can learn a lot this year if we will let ourselves do that. If we focus too much on the negative, we won't get anywhere. So looking really forward to a positive and a productive year, even with its challenges. So welcome back to campus, figuratively or literally. Thanks.
And thank you, Dr. Buss. We're going to move into the folks that you probably are going to work with a little closer, at least if we're doing our jobs decently anyway. We'll start with Todd Krieger, the manager of the Teacher Preparation and Advising Office. Todd?
Thank you. As Christy mentioned, I'm Todd Krieger, Manager of Student Advising for the College of Education. I've been in this position now for a little over 16 years, and it's the best job I've ever had. For those of you I have met in the past and have seen me in person, this is not a skin condition. This is a beard I've been growing in my spare time. I knew it would come in salt and pepper, but I didn't realize there'd be so much salt. But it's there, it's easy to take care of, and here I am. One thing I want to tell the folks, if you've been around the College of Education for any length of time, you probably heard this one, if not many, many, many times. For those of you who are new, what I want you guys to know is that at the University of Wyoming, you have a place to come for any question you have. Okay, if you don't know where to start with us. In most cases, we can answer that question. I'm blessed with a talented group of colleagues who have been here for quite a long time as well, and they can answer questions. They can also research answers to questions that they may never have heard of before, and we promise that if it's something we don't know anything about, we won't make up an answer. We'll send you to somebody on campus who can answer that and give you something to work with. So we want you to know that you have a place to come with any questions you have. We'll talk a little bit later about how to contact us under these unusual circumstances. But we've been doing this now since about the middle of March. So we're on to our 5th month of moving to alternate ways of, or past our 5th month now, of contacting and working with students, and it's working out pretty well. So anyway, welcome back. We're still here to help you.
All right, thank you, Todd. Next up on our list is me. So again, I'm Dr. Christy Thompson. I've been advising for almost 15 years. I've been on campus about as long as Dr. Buss. I think we came at almost the same time. He came as a faculty member, I came as a student. Never intending to be here, and well, here I still am. So good things can happen when you don't necessarily expect them. My backdrop is from a couple years ago when I had the opportunity to travel to Europe with my daughter. And going to the aqueducts was on the agenda, but because I had no idea what it was in French, I didn't know where we were going. Biggest surprise, one of the best stops on the trip. I've always wanted to go there, so it was a huge highlight for me. But I'm going to leave it at that and turn it over to Jody Evans.
Hi everyone, I'm Jody Evans. I'm an academic advisor in the college here. I've been advising about 2 years now, but been in the college for about 10. So I've been at UW for a little while. So went to school here, got my bachelor's and then my master's as well. So I like Laramie, I love Wyoming, and be happy to work with you guys, or continue to work with you as well in some cases.
Thank you, Jody. Vicky?
Hello, I'm Vicky Nelson. Geez, I hate to say this, but I've been at UW since 1992 as a student. So yeah, I think I win that award. Been working there since 2014 and an advisor since a couple of years ago. So I'm excited to work with everyone.
Sarah, we'll have you introduce yourself, please.
Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah. I'm the placement coordinator. So I started this position in October, so not too long ago, but learning the ropes. So I work with over 30 districts in setting up student teaching placements and 3 districts for setting up student practicums for EDST 3000. And I also came here to UW as a student, stayed for a grad program, and I most recently completed a MLIS from Kent State. So looking forward to working with all of you.
Luke, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, everyone. My name is Luke Helmuth. Yeah, UW kind of does suck you in and you just kind of stay here. I came in 2013, so I'm coming up on my 7 years being here. And yeah, I am probably going to be the first face you see in the office if we ever get to that point. Hopefully we do. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me, and I will try and help you answer them as best as possible.
Thank you, Luke. Judy, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Judy Yates. I work in the Dean's office, specifically with the Associate Dean of Undergraduate Education, Andrea Burroughs. You will probably be in contact with me. I'm assuming the large majority of our communication will come with live text accounts and any issues that you could run into in that regard. And I guess I kind of came to UW as a student, but I'm really digging this whole one free class a semester that employees get. So I'm just plugging along on random stuff. I took sign language this summer, so that was kind of fun and different.
Thank you, Judy. All right, I'm going to share my screen again here, and we are going to move up on with our agenda to some updates. First up is some updates to meeting with your advisor. Due to the phased opening of campus, our main office in McWhinney Hall is going to remain closed through phase 1. Okay, so if you need to contact your advisor or the main office, we're going to ask that you do that either through an email or by phone. There is a good chance you may need to leave a phone message, and we are going to get back to you because we are here in the office. I'm actually in the office today, i.e. France, because generally I'm at home with the distancing that we are practicing. Phase 2, here in a couple of weeks, we may have limited opportunities to meet with your advisor face-to-face. Generally though, most appointments are going to remain either virtual or over the phone. If we do meet with you in person, it's going to be in very condensed and specific times. And of course, we'll ask that you wear a mask and do all the other requests of campus in general. And then that will continue on into phase 3. That again, we'll continue to do, I think, most of our appointments virtually and have limited in person, again, depending on when we are on campus versus working from home and what is the most comfortable for you as well as for us and for health and safety concerns. All right, if we move on. Judy, I'm going to ask that you help me with this one, if you would, please. Over the summer, we changed how we are processing or the ways that we are having you get complete your mandatory background checks. So it has been the policy of the College of Education now for a number of years that all students have a background check approved and completed upon entering the College of Education. This summer, we started using an outside company called Viewpoint Screening to handle those for us. And so if you have less than 60 hours completed and you have not yet completed a background check, get in touch with your advisor or the main office so we can get you going on getting your background check completed through Viewpoint Screening. There is no cost to you, out-of-pocket cost. at this point. Judy, would you like to add anything?
I think that does it. The instructions for completing that are emailed out to you, I believe, and then they're also on the website, on the TPAO website. Where exactly right now, I'm not sure, but I'll make sure that I find those and let everybody know.
So when you get into Viewpoint, there is a form that they will have you download and complete, giving your permission for that check. You can't do the background check without completing the form. You can't get into certain education courses without doing a background check and having it complete in our office. So there are some ramifications for not completing that in a timely manner. In addition, over the summer, we have worked with the Wyoming Professional Teaching Standards Board to change a bit of the process, and they have changed their processes a lot as well, in obtaining your Wyoming substitute teaching permit. And actually, until yesterday, day before, we were still working out a few of the finer details of this, but I think we have it down for the most part now. Again, you'll need to contact your advisor for specific information on how to go through this process. But we should all celebrate because you will no longer have to pay for the $100 application processing fee out of your own pocket. The college is covering that for you. Now, if you need to pay for any transcripts, official transcripts as part of your application, and if there is any kind of fee by a law enforcement agency to complete your fingerprints, those costs are still your responsibility. But the $100 fee that goes to the Wyoming Professional Teaching Standards Board is going to be covered by the College of Education. Okay. Judy, would you like to add anything in?
I don't think so. And just with the fingerprint card that might have to go with that, you can, if you're local, you can go to either law enforcement agency, the sheriff's office, or UWPD. But if you're off-site, then, I mean, you'd probably, if you need help finding out where you need to get that, you can definitely reach out to one of us. But usually a local law enforcement office will do that for you.
And we do have the fingerprint cards that you need to complete that in our office. So if you let us know, we can mail them to you. The PTSB in Cheyenne also can send you those cards as well. You can request them directly from them. But again, please contact your advisor before you begin that process, because there is another specific form we need to make sure you receive at this point so that the PTSB knows to bill the College of Education and not you. All right. Alan and Sarah, if I could please have you guys talk about updates to residency and practicums.
All right, so this is Alan, and then Sarah, feel free to jump in as well. So at this time, we sent out a request to all the school districts that we work with in Wyoming and in Colorado, and asked them for information about their startup plans. And all of them that we work with have welcomed back methods and student teaching students for this fall and spring. So if you are in your methods elementary methods classes or your secondary methods classes and in your student teaching, all of those are a green light. So we have not had any school districts that have said that you cannot come. Where we have differences is for any practicum students in courses prior to that. So for the new Ed Studies 1200 course for incoming freshmen, for our Ed Studies 3000 classes and other courses that have practicum experiences such as the early childhood courses, many of those are going to be virtual or you will be doing some sort of a a video-based practicum experience using libraries of existing teaching videos, not only from Wyoming, but also from other places, other repositories. So, but there are some districts that have welcomed us back. So Cheyenne in Laramie County School District number 1 and the Poudre school districts have said that earlier practicum students are welcome. But for each of those, no matter where you go, no matter what stage, if you do go into a practicum, you absolutely must follow and abide by the policies that have been put in place by those school districts. So you can't just walk into a school. You have to go through the processes of making sure that you have been trained, if they require training, that you're wearing masks if they're requiring masks. And as of this point, I think every single school district that we contacted said visitors and practicum teachers, everyone has to be wearing a mask, and they have to go through the hygiene training. So it's a mixed bag in terms of where our students are able to go in for practica, but except for methods and student teaching, every single one of them is able to start doing their methods and practicum experiences as planned. Some of them, like in Denver, if you're in Denver Public Schools, they're not even starting up face-to-face instruction until the end of October. And so those practicum experiences will be virtual. And so the student teachers can join those experiences virtually. Our policy is, though, that by and large, unless there's some documented medical need, that our practicum students in methods and student teaching need to be in their schools with their teachers or online with their teachers, depending on how their teachers are delivering instruction. So again, we've got Denver Public Schools where those student teachers are going to be joining their mentors virtually. And we have other schools like here in Albany County where the teachers are going to be in the schools, and so the practicum students need to be there. So it just depends on the circumstances that your mentor teacher is in that you need to follow that lead. We do have some guiding policies in terms of health and safety, but they're right in line with all of the information that's been sent out from the university in terms of maintaining health and safety. If you're sick, don't go to a practicum experience. I mean, that's just obvious, but we'll say it anyway. If you do get diagnosed as a positive, you need to notify us immediately. There's the hotline that you need to call. You also, if you're in a practicum situation with methods or student teaching and you test positive, then notify your mentor teacher immediately, notify the school district immediately, and follow whatever policies they have in place. And then we'll need to make adjustments in terms of your time and your placement, especially if you're student teaching this fall, to be able to make sure that you have a successful, meaningful experience. So really the key is maintaining health and safety for you, for your students, and for the staff at the schools, and then being able to maintain good communication with everyone involved. So, and as we get to the end, then we can open that up for questions if there are more specifics that people have. But those are the general policy updates for residency and practica. Sarah, did you have, what would you have to add?
I do know that one district, and I believe it's in Fremont, is requiring COVID testing. That's the only one that I'm aware of that is like enforcing that right now before student teachers come in. The other ones, they're just trying to follow UW's guidelines for COVID testing.
All right, thank you both. As far as people who have applied for the cost program for spring of 21, Andrea or Alan, do you have any updates on that going forward, or Sarah for that matter? Have you heard anything from cost on that?
There was a meeting back in April, and at that point they were still taking students.
I'll be surprised. We haven't heard specifically, but I'll be surprised if we're able to do any international placements this year. that probably will not happen, but we will find out and let you know as we move forward. But at this point, I mean, the university is not allowing any faculty to travel unless it's deemed mission critical. In other words, if something really detrimental is going to happen to somebody's research if they can't travel, but we're not able to travel even to our typical conferences and so forth. So I would be surprised if the university would allow for overseas placements.
Okay, so if students have questions about that, please let us know. And of course, we will reach out and then get back to you. Of course, with everything, as we all know, things change very quickly, or can change very quickly. So we'll keep moving forward. For those students who are thinking down the road, you know, a few years from now, when hopefully this is behind us and we can go overseas and to other places without as much worry and concern. If you're interested in the potential for student teaching overseas, we are part of the Consortium for Overseas Student Teaching, and the website is listed there for you. It is open to elementary and secondary majors, so it will give you a different opportunity to really stretch yourself with teaching and to get some new and different experiences. So we'd encourage you to think about and look into that option. Again, last spring and then over the summer, the access to the College of Education building, here we go, Friday afternoon, folks, was changed because of the lab school. The lab school is one of the Albany County School District schools, and in order to heighten security for the students in the lab school, access to the education building has been restricted. Andrea or Alan, could you fill in a little bit more on that?
All right, so the access has been restricted to students who are College of Ed students. So if you're already in the College of Ed as a declared major, then your names will automatically be updated and entered into the locking system. But you will need your YO1 card, like this one, and it needs to be the new one. So if you don't have one of the newer YO1 cards that the university's been issuing, then you may not be able to access the College of Education building during normal working hours. So, so if you have a class down in the Ed 5, for instance, or Ed 30, one of those classrooms, then you'll need a card to be able to get in. If you wanted to cut through the building to get to the annex, you'll need a card to be able to do that. Students who are not College of Ed students will not be able to use the education hallway as a pass-through route. Now, as the other part of this is, the only way you'll be able to get into the building is through the main doors by the auditorium. The door that is nearest to the lab school offices on education, which would be the northeast corner, that will be locked even to College of Ed faculty. It will only be accessible by lab school faculty and staff. And so the only way to get in there is to get buzzed in. And so if you have official practicum or other need for access in the lab school, you'll need to buzz in. But we do not want students buzzing in through the lab school to get downstairs for those classrooms. In fact, that door at the bottom of the stairs will be locked from the inside, and you won't be able to access it. So you're gonna have to take off, make new habits if you've been going in through that northeast corner, or no, southeast corner, sorry, southeast corner of the College of Ed building by the lab school, unless you have lab school business. The other doors into the lab school from the various hallways will be locked, and again, will only have access by lab school staff. So you'll have to rethink your routes in getting to your classes, but you will need your YO1 card to be able to get into the College of Ed building. Andrea, how did I do?
A+.
So,
Don't forget your card. That's the big takeaway is you got to have your YO1 card.
And just to let you know that even faculty have to do this. So unless faculty have a key to the education building, which few do, they'll have to card in to the building, even just to go see the dean or visit the dean's office. So that's for everybody, not just students.
Dr. Bess?
Yes.
I was just going to ask, it doesn't appear that there is a new locking system or proximity reader on the Ed Annex. So students have access to the Annex without having to swipe a card?
Yes, so you'll be able to access the Annex just fine. There are some big bold signs on there. They want you to enter in through the left door and exit through the right door, as coming from the outside. But they're just trying to manage traffic using the signs. But yes, the Annex will be unlocked and accessible by anyone during normal business operating hours.
And probably the best route to the Ed Annex is going to be around one end or the other of McWhinney, so you don't have to pass into the education building. It's convenient and shorter, but it's not necessarily going to be your fastest way with a lot of traffic. So
Right.
I'd suggest coming in between education and McWhinney, or going all the way around McWhinney, between McWhinney and Wyoming Hall to get to the Ed Annex.
Yep. And also to let everyone know, since you're all on, parking is going to be extremely limited in the lots in education and McWhinney and Wyoming Hall. They're going to be turning that really into a parent pass-through route for the lab school students. And all of the faculty or A-lot permits or even day passes will not be recognized there anymore. It'll only be 30-minute parking. So don't plan on parking. Sometimes my students in the past have gotten day passes and parked just by the lab school. You won't be able to do that anymore. It'll just be 30-minute parking. So again, that's going to be a change for everybody.
All right, thank you. And of course, we're talking about that in anticipation of everyone being able to be back on campus and accessing buildings and for the future as well. The teacher prep and advising office is in McWhinney Hall. If you're not familiar with campus, you will be familiar with us by the time you are ready to leave campus with degree in hand. Our main office number is the 766-2230. And then our staff is listed there as well. And if anyone has questions, now is the time. So feel free to unmute yourself. If you want to show us your video, you can do that too. Or put your questions in the chat, and we are happy to answer very much whatever we can.
So just to double check, the best way to get started on the process for our substitute license permit would be to contact our advisor, correct?
Yes, because right now we have one of the main forms of that application, we need to send you directly so that the PTSB knows that you should be, that your fee will be paid by the college. So yeah, please do contact your advisor and we'll get you that form, and then you can get going on applying for your sub permit. Please know that that sub permit process is still taking between 6 and 10 weeks. So it is not a quick turnaround. Very, very few things are a quick turnaround with the PTSB. But this one is your first initiation into that long process.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Nicole.
So I'm taking a online education class, and of course I haven't filled out the substitute teaching forms and whatnot. I'm still going to be able to get help from my class potentially maybe one of these days in person if I don't have the substitute teaching license, correct?
The substitute teaching license is so that you can get into the schools to complete your practicum experiences. And so really we won't let you into those classes without having that completed. So not having your sub permit should not be an issue for you at this point. Does that answer your question? You'll still get help in classes. It's just whether or not you can be in a classroom with K-12 students.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see, we have a question about regarding the background check for a first-year student. Should that be done by the end of the semester or ASAP? We would like that done ASAP. Because what will happen is, depending on what you are registered for, classes for the spring semester may require that you have a completed background check on file to register. And so if you wait, it's going to impact the potential for your spring schedule. So the sooner you can get that done, the better, for sure. And you don't have to pay for that viewpoint screening, and you're not paying for the sub permit. Yeah, contact your advisor so we can make sure we get you going on the correct background check, and we'd like you to get that sooner than later. We also have a question about how do you know who your advisor is? This is a great question. Most everybody should have an advisor now. If you don't have one, contact Luke. Luke will let me know you don't have an advisor. But when you go into WYO in your WYO records, you should have access to your student information. And in there, it should tell you under your student profile who your advisor is. If you do have problems locating it, let us know, and we can assist you in making that connection with your advisor. But you should be able to find it under your student profile information. Of course, all the advisors are willing to help students anyway, but we just like to have you paired with someone in the anticipation that we're going to have a good long-term relationship, and that you'll be comfortable with that person, be able to talk to them. Oh, good question again. We have one that says, how do you know if you've completed the background check? Generally, Luke will send out an email that says, hey, we've gotten your background check results back, you're good to go. Or in some cases, your advisor may send you a note that says, hey, we received it. You're good to go as well. So we do try and email you from the office, whether it be your advisor or Luke, to let you know that your background check has come in and it's cleared. With the sub permit, currently anyway, once you get your substitute teaching permit, you do need to send us a copy of that so that we have that on file as well. But yeah, we try and let you know as soon as your background check is complete so you're not wondering anymore. I will say you can also check in your degree evaluation that it is cleared as well. Your background check is back. Under the professional education requirements, there are two boxes, two areas in your degree evaluation. One is for the initial background check, and one is for your substitute teaching permit. And so as those background checks clear and as we get copies of your substitute teaching permit, we go in and clear those in the system as well. So it is viewable in your degree evaluation. Do we have any comments or suggestions from our advisors or administrators? Anything you'd like to add in?
I do. At this stage of the game where communication is fast and furious, to say the least, please check your UW emails daily. especially anything that comes from the teacher education listserv. We don't send out fluffy stuff. We send out important stuff like, virtual town hall meetings and information on how to apply for your sub-permit and your background checks and so forth and so on. So if you could get into a habit during your day of making time for your UW emails, especially if something comes from your advisor, it'll be important, or anything from the college itself, or anything from the university about the current stage of the phase reopening. So it's important to stay on top of things, and especially the teacher education listserv. I don't know that too many other colleges are as dependent upon that as we are, but we sure like to get the word out to you guys as quickly as possible. So thanks for doing that.
Anything else before the ukuleles are brought out?
Did you wince, Dr. Buss?
Only on behalf of our students.
Oh, okay. Well, it's kind of funny. We can mute them, but they can't mute us.
Again, if anybody out there has any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to get a hold of your advisor, the office as a whole. I do strongly suggest you do not rely on the answers of your peer students. They're not always the best sources of accurate information. And if you do that, I strongly suggest you still contact us and verify the answer so that you are on the right track. We do look forward to meeting with all of you, and thank you very much for attending this today. If Todd and Alan, if you want to serenade, now's the time.
Are you ready, Alan?
As ready as we'll ever get.
I don't see a ukulele. I'm afraid. Oh, okay.
All right, you lead off, Todd.
Okay.
All right. I didn't hear much singing though.
Oh, no. I didn't promise that. I didn't promise that.
All right, not quite Western Thunder, but it'll have to do for today.
There you go. Western Whisper.